Ladies and gentlemen, I am now joined by a man who actually spreads happiness. And he represents in India a global giant about which we know the presence. However, the detail of that presence, many are not aware of. My own sense is that once you get to know the details of this company's, this global giant's presence in India, you would be far happier. Mr. Prasanna Mohile, member of the executive board of Pernod Ricard in India, and also the head of the corporate division of their policy. Mr. Mohile, welcome to NDTV. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me to this NDTV World Summit. Congratulations, Nikunj, for the NDTV World Channel, which was launched today and which we witnessed. Pernod Ricard, as you are aware, many of them, they don't know, people know it as Seagrams. So, Pernod Ricard has been in India for last 3 decades. So we have partnered with the Indian growth story for last 3 decades here, and we have grown right after the liberalization era began. Out of this 30 years, Pernod Ricard has seen in last 10 years also, we've seen a quite stable policies of the government.
Mr. Mohile, you actually are saying that you have been in the country for last 3 decades.
Yes, we were there since last 3 decades.
And what all has been your footprint, your activities in all these 3 decades that you have been in India?
So we started 3 decades back, but today, as you see, we have almost 25 manufacturing facilities all over India. We've been exporting to almost 50 plus countries. And we also have plans to invest further in this country, looking at the way the economy of this country is growing up. And let me also tell you that for Pernod Ricard, India is the second largest market after US.
And you were talking about the policy framework that you have seen in last 1 decade that have helped your company expand, and what kind of future plans that you have.
In last 1 decade, we've seen quite stable policies by the government of India and the various states. And we've seen the economy growing there. And as I say that Pernod Ricard has also grown with that. And that is what prompted us basically to invest further and expand further in India. Pernod always had a very, being a foreign multinational, always had a very global approach that we've been blending with the global spirit with the Indian preferences there for the consumers here.
Tell me something, that one of the big challenge today, what is the investment that your company is doing in terms of making your products more sustainable and less drawing from the natural wealth?
So, Nikunj, basically sustainability is in the core of our operations, our values. Sustainability, you see, starts with, we've given away with the monocartons now. After we've given away with the monocartons, that has basically reduced our carbon emission by 7,310 tons annually, which
And
conserves...
this is India operations you're talking about?
Yes, and we aim to go till 30,000 tons by 2030. That is what basically the sustainability for us means, that we care for our planet Earth, we care for the environment where we are, and as the Prime Minister also said today, we basically focus on 3 T's, that is talent, training, and transformation. And this company also believes in that. And going further, we are now also coming up with an investment, basically of 200 million euros.
200 million euros?
Euros.
And where is this investment of yours?
So this investment will be coming in Nagpur, in Maharashtra. And this basically, the main reason is that while we have this in the remotest places, we are able to contribute to the rural development of that place. So it should benefit around 80 to 90,000 farmers in and around that region. So I think when we talk about Vikasit Bharat, unless we don't touch the roots of the rural area and the corporates doesn't take this responsibility, the real Vikasit Bharat dream will not come true. So that is also one of the initiatives of Pernod Ricard, who decided that we go to the remotest area. And my plan is that we might tomorrow think of having a farmers federation there from where we can, the entire supply chain value, we can
the
source
product.
them directly.
Source the product.
So that can help the farmers.
When you talk about taking this, your manufacturing facility or this kind of a plant, this 200 million euro kind of investment is quite unheard of, particularly when you talk of hinterland areas. How do you think, that you have been able to zero in?
So that is why I said that sustainability is in the core value of our entire operations. And that is the reason when we were zeroing in on different areas on where to do that, we had a couple of them in mind, but then we thought that no, this is the area where today the need of the farmer is there, where we can invest, make them also sustainable there for the years to come. And that is what Pernod Ricard is all about.
The conviviality factor, that's a very important
Yes.
term that you bring in. But Mr. Mohile, let me ask you one thing, that how much of the local produce can you source and integrate into your supply chains, integrate into your top of the line brands, like some of the brands which are actually iconic?
You're right, Nikunj. And that is what, today, if you see, we've been known by some very iconic brands. We've always had this approach of local, wherein we basically try and blend the whole thing with the local resources there. We do the local sourcing.
You say that you are doing the local sourcing. Now, let's say you are setting up this massive mega plant of some 200 million euros. Now, your supply chains have to be spread. The farmer has to change his produce according to you. So you think, all of this can be a successful experience and you can take it forward?
Yeah, obviously we can take it forward because ultimately, see, this is the organization when we say locally sourcing, we take it from grain to glass. It is all locally sourced here. And that is how today, if I speak about the employability, 9 lakh jobs, many of them would not know, 9 lakh jobs.
9 lakh jobs.
9 lakh jobs. That is the contribution basically of Pernod Ricard
That is almost
today.
close to 1 million jobs.
Yes, 9 lakh jobs are basically created. That is the kind of contribution Pernod Ricard has, out of which 6 lakh jobs are into the agriculture sector because grain is my main raw material from where the spirit comes.
6 lakh farmers is what you are directly touching the lives of.
Exactly. And Pernod Ricard today, if you see in terms of economics also, the kind of contribution Pernod Ricard does, Pernod Ricard has almost direct 21,000 crores direct by way of direct taxes, which we contribute to the Indian economy.
That is the kind of tax contribution that
yes,
you people
it's a direct tax. Around 40,000 crores is the contribution to the GDP through the value chain. So we have a very sizable contribution to the Indian economy there, and we are growing. We believe today in the economic policies of this government, and that is why we are going ahead with all our expansions and investment plans here in the country. And that is how today India has become the second largest market after US.
On our theme, India Century, you make a very important point that we believe in the policies that are being enacted in this country right
Yes.
now, the way the country is being run.
Yes.
And that is why you have your massive investment plan. Before I let you go, Mr. Prasanna Mohile, let me ask you one more question. And that is that many in your industry and many neutral observers have spoken about giving a sort of a structured industry status like FMCG or like IT-enabled services, etc., to Alcobev industry. What do you think, are the challenges in it, and how do you think the industry itself can benefit and then in turn benefit the country's economy?
Good question, Nikunj. We were also figuring this out, that even after contributing so much, our only small request always has been that if we come into the mainstream sector, then probably, there will be more investments and more employability in this particular sector. And we can also leverage whatever the government programs are, government schemes are. So I think we need this kind of a little status there as an industry tomorrow, so that we also get the benefits like what others get.
So that is where you can probably leverage the various government schemes,
Yes.
where various government incentives,
Yes.
and probably catapult yourself
Absolutely.
at a place where you are on the front rows of industry segments.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prasanna Mohile. Thank you
Thank you,
very
sir.
much for joining the NDTV.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the last many years, we have heard about individuals with private wealth making a difference into society, actually trying to influence through initiatives various indicators in the social sector. We have one such individual with us, Dr. Payal Kanodia, Chairperson and Trustee, M3M Foundation. Thank you so much, Payal, for joining
My
us.
pleasure.
And I was going through the work that you guys do, and in fact, I was also talking to some of my colleagues, sustainability, scholarships, and sanitation. Tell us a little bit about what the foundation does.
So basically, M3M Foundation, it works on holistic development of the underprivileged children and their families and, their living conditions. So we have multiple projects around different initiatives. Like one of our projects is called Sarvodaya. That project works on integrated village development. So we are working in about 82 villages in New region, where we are doing sustainable development and building smart villages. Also, their people are themselves responsible for developing their villages, starting the initiatives in villages, and also they lead their own initiatives. Similarly, we have programs around education, art, literature, sports, and there's another program where we give scholarships to the children who want to establish enterprises in social sectors. Then we also have a project which we launched this year, which is called One Jeevan, where we started focusing on wildlife.
Okay. You said that you also want to create leadership, amongst communities that you work with. That's completely right, because communities also want to take ownership of the initiatives that are sort of like working for them. How has that work been? In fact, this outreach to communities and giving them a sense of ownership of these welfare activities.
So, honestly, when we entered these rural areas of our country, and Nu being one of the aspirational districts of PM Modi, so the best thing that we learned, and the learning that came across during doing our ground studies with my team, was that when you enter a community, you have to become a part of the community and not impose what you want to do just for your benefits and profits. So we became a part of the community, we became their voice, we understood what they need, and which helped us designing the projects that communities were happy to own, happy to lead. And today, when we sit down and see the results of those projects, the women are entrepreneurs, they're more independent, they are running their village panchayats, they are running community kitchens in their villages. They also have, we call it Sankalp Vatika, so they grow their own vegetables. And to my joy, I learned it last week only, that a group of women has actually gone ahead and purchased a small farm of their own, where they are cultivating oyster mushroom and many more vegetables. And now they go and sell it in the market. They are making many products like that. They have their own dairies. They are learning to make organic manure, Jivamrit, and a lot many more things. So this is one beauty of it. When you work with the community, with their consent, and involve them, they take the ownership beautifully.
Absolutely. Also, Payal, one of the interesting things that you do is One Jeevan. Wildlife is an area which has a lot of regulation, so it's not easy to work there, as even for NGOs. And also, we keep hearing about human-animal conflict. There are leopards getting into villages. There are elephants trampling over human beings. It's not an easy sector. Tell us a little bit about the kind of work that you do. Which are the states that you work in?
So this is the project that we launched this year, and it was one of my own dream projects, where we wanted to work on saving wildlife, because I've always believed that we just cannot work, by saving humans or working for humans. We need to work at the ecosystem in toto. So that's when this project got designed, and we started our first project at Tipeshwar Wildlife Sanctuary, which is near Nagpur. So during summers, someone reached out to us and they said that, the tigers are dying because there's no water to drink. So we just went ahead and involved the local people and installed solar water pumps. So now these pumps only work at night, so they also kind of are only work in the days, and at the night they're not working. So they just pump water out of the ground. To the beauty of it, in just 2 months of our intervention, we saw the entire wildlife, the flora, fauna, the carnivores, herbivores, in fact, bears, deers, all the animals coming back because everyone needed water. And also local communities got empowered because of this. Then we expanded this project to Koluchur Forest, which is next to Jim Corbett. Again, similar interventions where, we just made ecosystem more friendly for wildlife, and now we are expanding it to Pilibhit, where there is a lot of poaching that happens, illegal poaching that happens to Nepal for the tigers. And we realize that as the more we work towards the ecosystem in total, where it is animals, humans, trees, everything involved, the community around that flourishes on its own.
Right. Also, Payal, you are a sports person yourself, and you've invested a lot in training young girls in sporting activities. Tell us a little bit about that.
So my sporting journey actually started during COVID. I picked up this sport which is called kettlebell. It's a Russian sport, and there are multiple disciplines that are being played with different kinds of weight, and happened so that it became my passion over past 4.5 years. And this year I just won 2 gold medals in the World Championship in Greece. And this is also very close to my heart because before this, I was actually supporting athletes and para-athletes in sports. We give them scholarships, and it's beautiful to see that India has so much talent. It just needs to get nurtured. Okay. And it's not just education. We, in our villages, especially, I come from a small village in Haryana myself, and there are so many children who do amazing in sports. They just need a little bit of hand-holding. And we have many children today, especially para-athletes. One of our para-athlete scholars won a silver medal in Paralympics this year. So many children, they just need someone to hold their hand, to guide them, to nurture them, and they can do wonders. And this is another way where we can help community.
Okay, and you sense a change in parents of,
So yes, the parents also become supportive because they see that, their children have a future in that.
Also, tell us a little bit about kettlebells. What is it, and is it like weightlifting? What is it?
So it's not a weightlifting sport. Kettlebell is more of a endurance sport, and it is a sport about your mental strength because whatever you play constantly for 10 minutes, and after 2.5 minutes, your body strength literally gives up. And during my championship, I felt like, what am I doing? After 2 minutes, I literally wanted to throw the bells off. And then, something kicked, no, that I'm stronger than this. I need to, and I had a target set for myself. I was like, no, I have to beat my target. And this sport has started to reflect a lot in my personality, my work, what I do in my real life as well.
Right. I'm noticing this change with a lot of people who come from wealthy families. They feel far more responsible for society, and it's just not CSR, something that they're mandated to do. Tell us a little bit about this foundation. Is it something that your family runs, and is it something that happens, irrespective of the rules, that make it mandatory?
So M3M Foundation is a philanthropic arm of M3M India Group. But we are not, this is not a mandate for us. It's not a CSR. So a pool of funds come from my family income. Everyone from my family gives a pool of funds to the foundation. And it was a vision of my grandfather, then my father, and then me today, that we are running this foundation because we always, as a family, as a philosophy, have believed in giving to the society. And not just my family, I think this, the whole idea of giving to the society, treating people equal, giving people their rights, dates back to the ancient times in India. Even our kings, the rulers, or the queens, they would work for the society in different ways. So it is a part of that culture that my family always has loved to follow, and hence we are doing this. In fact, today when I sit here, I relate it to our PM's vision of, Viksit Bharat, the self-reliant Bharat, and a lot many more projects that he has launched over past 10 years. I think we are working in alignment with those projects and they're giving us wonderful results.
Right. And do you think it's okay to go along with the government, or do you think that the government needs to do more to promote this kind of private philanthropy?
So government already is doing its bit, to be very honest. They have some amazing programs. If we actually look at them, they're designed very well. All we need is more public and private partnership, more involvement of foundations like ours and other foundations, NGOs, with the government and the community. So it's a tri-party thing. If we all look at it that way instead of competing against each other, I think the programs are there, they are designed, the processes are there in place, the funds are there in place. It's just about now people coming together and doing some great work.
Right. Thank you, Payal Kanodia, Chairperson, Trustee, M3M Foundation, for actually, talking about innovation in philanthropy, which I think is really the need of the hour. Thank you so much. Thank you.